Hi everyone and welcome to episode 5 of the Beta Battle at Man United. Myself versus Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who can get the best out of a Man United squad for the 2019-20 season. Him in reality, me using FM20, the new version of the game that's just come out. Hope you're enjoying playing it yourself if you've had the opportunity to play the beta. So, recent form since the last time we were together against the Liverpool match where we drew 1-1 has been a little bit mixed in the sense that we then lost against Wolves, which was a very poor performance. I was very unhappy with the way they played. It just felt like it was as part of a bit of a low turn in terms of our momentum and our motivation for the game. But having said that, immediately having lost to Wolves, I made some changes, reshaped the side a little bit, and we then went on a 2-game winning streak with 11 goals between the 2 games. Now, one of them was against Wolfsberger in the Euro Cup, which is one of our easier opponents. But even so, we beat Newcastle 5-0 and we beat Wolfsberger 6-0. And that's really got some momentum and confidence back into the side, leading up to a very, very hard game today. If we go and have a look at the league table as it currently stands, you can see that we're against Tottenham today. We've dropped down a couple of places, but if we win our game in hand today over a couple of teams around us, then we can put ourselves right back in the mix again. So it's a difficult game, but we do need to try and get the points if we can, just to close that gap and find ourselves back in the top 4, which is ultimately what I'm trying to achieve this season. So that's the game against Tottenham. In terms of the team for today, I have actually now decided to make a couple of changes in terms of my first 11, just based on performances so far this season and form, etc. So the teams, the players that are coming into the sort of first 11 are one, Chowdhury instead of McTominay. McTominay played well last game, but hasn't quite lit the place up, and I just want to see if Chowdhury can do a better job in that ball-winning midfield role. He's played well when I've been asking him to play. On the right-hand side is Bowen instead of Lingard. I think that's fairly obvious as to why, because Bowen recently has just been banging the goals in and looking extremely good. He's got 8 in 12 appearances, 7 in 5 in the Euro Cup, so it's time to give him a little bit more in the Premier League and see whether he can transfer that form into the Premier League. And the third and final change for this particular game is Martial up top instead of Dembele, and it's quite simply that Martial's got a better scoring record this season so far, 14 in 15 games for Martial, and if we go and have a look at Dembele, he's got 5 in 8. So they're both scoring, and that's absolutely fine, but just at the moment I think I want to try Martial and see whether we can become more consistent in our scoring than we have done recently. You can see that Chowdhury's picked up a little bit of a knock, but he hasn't been too badly affected by it, and he's only out until tomorrow in theory for training. So whether he plays the whole game or not today, we'll find out as the match goes on. Similar with Daniel James, he also picked up a very minor knock, is out for a day or so, but can play off the bench today if we need him to. In terms of everything else, everything is as it was really. Muru's coming back from a knock, isn't quite ready yet, and Phil Jones remains anything up to 3 weeks away from being ready to play. So that's why our team for today is De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Shaw at left back, Lindelof and Maguire in central defence, Pereira, Chowdhury and Pogba in central midfield, Bowen on the right, Rashford on the left, Martial up top, with a substitute bench of Bailly, Dalot, McTominay, Cook, Lingard, James and Dembele. So let's get into this top of the table clash game and see what happens. So in terms of Tottenham's side, you can see they're playing the diamond in midfield with 2 up top, which isn't something that we encounter an awful lot in the Premier League. But that will provide an interesting challenge. We'll see if our wide men can make the difference down the sides of the pitch compared to losing out maybe in the centre of the pitch. And our 2 central defenders obviously have got a bit of a task holding on to Kane and Ali today. So we'll see how that looks as the first half goes. But it's an interesting formation that they've gone with, and very different, as I say, to what we're used to. So yeah, we'll find out where those spaces occur. In terms of being away from home, we're going to assertively suggest we've got nothing to lose here. We know how good we are. Let's show everyone what we're capable of, just to really put the onus on the players to perform well, but also with a slightly kind of calming feel about, they all know that we're capable, so just go out and play your game, really. So let's get into kickoff. So as I say, we're away from home in Tottenham's new stadium. First time for us playing there this season. And, it's obviously a very nice arena, but hopefully we can take advantage of the fact that maybe it doesn't quite feel homely to them yet. and we can have an impact on the game. Martial nicks the ball in the penalty area straight away, and Bowen just slightly wide of the post, but very good interception in the middle of the penalty area by Martial. Corner comes in, Lingard over the far side, puts it back to Maguire on the top of the penalty box, hands over to Pogba, far white to Andrea Pereira. Can he get something? No, he was offside. Unfortunately, he didn't get himself back onside, having taken the corner kick in the first instance. But promising start, I would say, for Man United in the first couple of minutes of the game. We've really sort of been dominating in terms of the chances created. Here we go again with a corner kick. Andrea Pereira, Rashford with a header, and straight away the goal comes after 18 minutes. Lovely, lovely corner kick from Pereira. Again, free kick specialist. He got another goal recently in one of the recent games as well. Continues to look really, really good. And Rashford diving out from the goal line to get onto the ball. Almost has to sort of run backwards and then header back to goal. A very difficult technique, but he managed it very well. And here come Tottenham with their goal kick, taking it short and working their way down the left-hand side. Rose on the overlap. Can he get past Wan-Bissaka? He rises the tackle, gets the ball into Winks, who goes over the top for Rose again, picks up the ball right on the byline. Cross comes in, Kane gets the original header on, Dele Alli on the far post has a very simple tap in with the goalkeeper out of position, and it's 1-1. So here we go again with Tottenham down in their defensive area, having had a goal kick. Goal kick eventually goes long to Walker Peters on the right hand side. Walker Peters cuts inside, almost lost the ball there, and eventually did. Pereira picks up the loose ball, calms the play down and passes it to Wan-Bissaka down the right hand side, but Wan-Bissaka gets caught on the ball, and again we lose possession, and so do Tottenham. Back and forth, ball straight over the top to Rashford, one-on-one, but Lloris stands up straight and eventually puts the ball round the side of the goal for a corner kick. Corner comes in, Rashford underneath it, but didn't quite get there, and the highlight dies at that point. Yeah, really scrappy play from both sides for a while there, wasn't there, with both losing the ball quite readily. Here we go down our left-hand side with Rashford, controls the ball very nicely, brings the ball in centrally to Andrea Pereira, who puts it wide right for Bowen to latch onto. Cross comes into the far post, Rashford, another very good save by Lloris. Good sweeping move, lots of really good cross-field passes there. Corner comes in for Rashford again, but doesn't quite latch onto it. Lindelof picks up the loose ball, and the highlight goes again. Here come Tottenham, immediately down the left-hand side. It's quite a highlight-heavy game, isn't it? But Wan-Bissaka gets the foot in very nicely, and Bowen picks up the ball. Long ball over the top. Martial gets onto the loose ball. Can he put it away? He can't. Lloris again puts the ball round the post for the goal for the corner kick. Another opportunity though for Pereira to show his class, and he's not quite done it there again. Couple of half decent corners, couple of very disappointing. But we find ourselves at 1-1 against the league leaders at half time, so it can't be too hard on them, and we are dominating those opportunities. So let's say we played well, but we consider ourselves unlucky not to be winning. Let's go with that calmly. That's motivated a few people. Hopefully that will make them happy enough to think that they can go and get something from this second half. Opportunity for us to build up central midfield wise. Out wide to the left hand side for Shaw. Gets a deep cross in, but the ball is partially cleared, but only to our defensive area where Lindelof can pick up the loose ball. Down the right hand side now for Wan-Bissaka, who moves it right the way over to this left hand side long for Rashford, who powers the shot over the top of the crossbar from short range. Should have got it on target there, really. Bit disappointing in terms of his final effort. Good sweeping ball though. Here we come down our left hand side again with Luke Shaw. Almost loses out, but regains composure and passes off to Maguire, who cuts into midfield but then loses the ball again to Walker Peters this time. Maguire stays in midfield, puts the pressure on, and they make a mistake, and eventually Bowen should have done better with that. Had a perfect opportunity centrally in the penalty box to get at least a shot on target, and it was just very, very tame, wasn't it? But we are continuing to create the chances. There's a loose throw in though, and Lo Celso picks up the loose ball, drives into the penalty box under absolutely no challenge whatsoever. Nobody got across to him or back with him, and he had an opportunity at goal, and fortunately we managed to get De Gea managed to get a hand on the ball for a corner kick. Corner comes into the far post. Good attempt on the far post, but is parried out. Tottenham maintain possession, but then lose possession, and then we lose possession. Here's the theme of the game, folks. It just is, isn't it? We keep giving each other possession. Long free kick comes in for Man United, and the header back from Maguire on the far post finds Rashford at the near post in terms of where the free kick was taken from. And what's the decision going to be? I think it was offside, unfortunately. Very, very slightly. Good Maguire header across the goal, but Rashford was ever so slightly offside, and the goal is ruled out, and we stay at 1-1 with 64 minutes gone. So we're coming towards the time where we might want to make a couple of substitutions just to get some fresh legs on there. The throw-in comes in. Again, Pogba, I think it was, with the header, but a good save, I think, on that particular occasion. So let's think about these substitutions. Just before that, Lindelof is being forced back. Eventually gets it to De Gea, who's got time to move the ball onto this left-hand side. Luke Shaw now in plenty of space. Being cut down though, but he gets the ball away to Rashford over the top, and Rashford hits the woodwork, and that was really unfortunate. Nice sweeping move. Unfortunately, Rashford hit the woodwork. So let's go and have a look at what we've got available to us off the bench. So Chowdhury has come in and not done brilliantly, has he? To be honest, McTominay can feel a bit unlucky that he's not been playing today and that Chowdhury got the chance. Chowdhury didn't take the chance, did he? So Lindelof also on a 6.4 I'm not happy with, so Eric Bailly can come on for that. And Martial up top has picked up a little bit of knock in the game, so we're going to change him out for Dembele. So a couple of our players that we brought into this 11 to see what they could do haven't really taken their chance, have they? But that's sometimes what happens. We'll continue to play around with that starting lineup over the next couple of games and see what we settle with eventually. 5 minutes or so left plus extra time for injuries. Cross comes in for Tottenham, but De Gea plucks the ball very calmly out of the air, holds on to it, and we can now rebuild ourselves. Where's De Gea going to send the ball? Possibly wide left? No, he's gone wide right, and he's found Bowen, who immediately moves it forward to Rashford. No hanging about here at all. Rashford down the side of the penalty box on the left hand side. Deep cross, far side to Bowen. Gets a long rangy header in, but didn't quite have enough on it to actually put it in the back of the net. But we find ourselves with the corner kick in the dying seconds. Rashford again underneath it. Bailly picks up the loose ball. In comes Pereira, but Eriksen gets the ball partially cleared. McTominay keeps the ball in, almost loses it, gets very lucky. Pogba picks up the loose ball back to McTominay, who again there loses the ball. And it's just the theme of this game. We're just giving it away. So are they. But we just keep giving cheap possession away. And now Rose comes in. Oh, that was fortunate from Dembele. Really close range. Powers the shot, but it's ever so slightly wide. And we've got to start eliminating the mistakes. But there goes the final whistle, and a bit like the last episode against Liverpool, top of the table clash, I think we can be fairly happy with the fact that we're not losing to the big sides in these contexts, but we're not picking up the points on them either. So yeah, I think we'll say that we should let them know that we appreciate their efforts. As Mike Phelan says, I think that's worth it. We went away from home against top of the table leaders, and we got a 1-1 draw, which is pretty decent. Moves us into 4th place, which with everybody having played 16 games. So that's the minimum of what we're hoping for this season, really. But we've got plenty of opportunities to pick up a few points around on the teams around us as we move forward. So let's go through the news feed. Tottenham hold on for a draw. They did indeed. Martial suffers a bit of a knock, but only out for a couple of days. Lukaku's triggering a bit of money on his deal that's gone through. And Rashford shines. Okay, great. Well, that's encouraging for Rashford. So what we're going to do for next episode, we're going to come back in and close out 2019 portion of our save by playing against Leicester City on the last game of 2019 in the Premier League before we then go into the Christmas New Year period. So that will be not the Christmas New Year, it's just the New Year period. That game happens on the 29th of December. So yeah, that will be the last game of 2019 for the next episode. So I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, why not subscribe to the channel, keep up to date with the videos. If you enjoyed this episode, why not click a like on it for me, help me get seen by other people. That's how I grow my channel, which is really what I'm trying to do desperately. Thanks for all of you that have joined me recently. It's been very encouraging to get a few more views and a few more subscribers to the channel, which is great. If you're playing FM20 yourself, let me know how you're getting on in the comments below. Always interested to hear your stories. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I will see you soon, and bye for now.